you find measure 106. 106. Let's start there right now. This is the second, right after the crescendo, right? Right after the crescendo. Better yet, 105, double bar. Let's do 105, double bar. 105. 105.
I've always loved education, and higher education is something that's really important to me. I always had that goal to go to medical school, and for that I knew I needed a really great college education to be able to take that next step.
Before college, I've always had the idea of being an engineer. I've always liked the idea of building, designing things, and that's kind of what pushed me to further what I'm trying to do here at Iowa State.
Just something felt right about Ames, and then I ended up staying now for 5 years. Especially like choosing a graduate school program, just deciding to stay was a big factor.
When I first came to college, I had no clue what I wanted to study, and that's what drew me to Iowa State, was its wide variety of majors and different options that the school really excels in.
I'm first generation, so the idea of college was very unfamiliar with me. Graduating is a huge milestone for me, but it's also a huge milestone for my parents.
I was a traditional student all the way through my first master's degree, which I completed overseas in Europe, and then I moved to the United States. My second master's took me a while because I was a working mom. When my children pursued their own college careers, I decided it was time for me to go back to school.
My brother was here for his undergrad. I got to spend a majority of my high school getting to come and visit him. I fell in love with the campus while I was here. It felt familiar, it felt comfortable.
I loved that it was a land-grant university. There's a really homey feeling to it, and being able to walk across campus and all of the different seasons is so beautiful.
My first impression was the gorgeous campus that we have. I knew that I really wanted a walkable green campus, and that's exactly what I got when I was here.
I just remember sitting in my first class and just thinking to myself, I'm really in college right now. I didn't know what to expect.
Getting to be abroad was amazing. There are so many bucket list buildings that I've wanted to see for years that I finally got the opportunity to. I felt like my confidence grew so much while I was abroad.
The honors program gave me a great stepping stone to other leadership roles. Through those leadership experiences that I've had, I've been able to find the type of leader that I am.
Being a student athlete on campus has really allowed me to more easily find my people. Athletics has a great community here. We like to go out and support each other at different events. Having that built-in community really enhanced my experience.
Something that everybody always talked about was submitting something to the fashion show. When I first submitted, I was very nervous. I didn't know if I was going to get rejected, but it's just taught me to be confident in myself. And being involved with it, it's opened so many opportunities for me.
There is just so much value and potential for somebody to open their minds and really explore.
I'm most proud of being able to actually accomplish this degree in 4 years, especially with being in the Air Force. Last year, I took a full semester off to deploy to the Pacific. And with even taking a semester off, I'm still completing the degree in the 4-year time frame.
The proudest moment for me has been being able to contribute to the culture that we have here at Iowa State. Whether that was just through my undergraduate activities, being able to help my teammates, helping my roommates with homework at night.
Through my time at Iowa State, my confidence has grown so much. I am much more comfortable going up to new people, making new friends, making new connections, and that's such a valuable skill. Iowa State definitely helped me to grow that skill.
I'm most proud of the relationships that I've made here, whether it's been with professors, research students, or my friends that I made. I can't imagine what I would do without them. They have been so supportive throughout my time at that school.
I'm really proud of the people that my daughters became as a result of coming to Iowa State. But we would not be coming back if there was no value here.
Being a Cyclone means that you are part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Willing to try new things.
To be passionate about yourself.
Cyclones are really loyal. We're always there for each other. We're always cheering each other on.
Seeing every single day as a new opportunity.
Empathetic and compassionate.
To be something bigger.
Curious about what's out there, what knowledge is out there, what science is out there, what relationships are out there. That's what it means to be a Cyclone.
Iowa State blew me out of the water. I've had experiences that I didn't know were possible.
If you had to boil my Iowa State experience down to one word, I would say opportunity.
Excitement.
Family.
Transformational.
Tenacious.
I would say flawless.
Exciting.
Really just confident. So being able to put yourself out there and really go outside of your comfort zone, because that's when you experience the most growth.
Before Iowa State, I was a kid who wanted to be a vet and had no idea how to get there. After Iowa State, I'm someone who is able to walk away with countless relationships with colleagues, students, and professors.
How do you thank a whole university, town, and community that's had such a large impact on your life? As my time at Iowa State comes to a close, I find myself reflecting on the people who have shaped my Cyclone journey. If you've helped me in any way or been any part of my journey, thank you so much.
So I really want to thank my wife, Katie Bell. Thank you for being my rock and one of the best things that has ever happened to me. This journey of me going back to school and working full-time hasn't been easy, but having you by my side has made all the difference.
To my beloved parents, who instilled the love of learning in me and allowed me to follow my heart, cross the ocean, and start a new life in Iowa. To my dear husband, for his love and patience, and to my amazing daughters for their unwavering support and encouragement, thank you.
I would like to thank my first-year sewing teachers. I wouldn't be the designer that I am proud of being today without your help.
I want to thank every single person that I've met and had a connection with here at Iowa State.
I want to thank my family for their unwavering patience and support, to my friends for all of the silly moments, to my classmates and faculty members, and Cardinal and Gold, thank you.
I want to reiterate my thanks to my mom and my dad. They have been endlessly supportive.
My 5 years here were filled with so many wonderful memories, made with equally wonderful people. Thank you is hardly enough to depict the love I hold for this place. Thank you to Iowa State University.
There are thousands of Cyclones out there, but there's something that unites us, and it's the Cardinal and Gold.
Good morning. Iowa State University is pleased and honored to welcome the family and friends of our graduates to the Spring 2025 Morning Undergraduate Commencement Ceremony here in Hilton Coliseum. Today's commencement ceremony recognizes recent graduates in Iowa State University's proud 167-year history of academic achievement, excellence, and service. The procession will begin with the presentation of college banners by each college's student marshal, who will be accompanied by the dean and the Students' University escort. The presentation of the college banners will be followed by the processional of our undergraduate candidates for graduation, who will process in as members of the delegations of their respective colleges. Members of the assembly may remain seated during the processional. At this time, it is our privilege to present to you Jennifer Holliday, Student Marshal for the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Jennifer is accompanied by her university escort, Nate Dobbles, and by Dean Daniel Robeson. It is our privilege to present to you Aaron Randak, Student Marshal for the Ivy College of Business. Aaron is accompanied by his university escort, Curtis Hoff, and by Dean David Spalding. At this time, it is our privilege to present to you undergraduate candidates for graduation from Iowa State University. Signaling the official beginning of our morning commencement ceremony, the University Mace, carried by Chief Faculty Marshal Dr. Robert Wallace, precedes the President. We ask the candidates for graduation and the members of the Assembly to please rise as you are able for the procession of the members of the Iowa State University academic community, led by President Dr. Wendy Winterstein. And now, the presentation of colors by the Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps Color Guard. Iowa State University is very pleased to introduce Allie Pauley as the Spring 2025 Morning Undergraduate Commencement vocalist. Ms. Pauley will sing our national anthem.
Please join me in singing our national anthem.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the no
Please be seated. Graduates, family, and friends, I am pleased to introduce Dr. Wendy Winterstein, President of Iowa State University.
Good morning. I'm very pleased to welcome you to Iowa State University's Spring 2025 Morning Undergraduate Commencement Ceremony. At this time, I would like to introduce the members of the Platform Party. I ask that they please stand and remain standing until all introductions are made. Mr. Larry Buss, Iowa farmer, retired Chief Hydraulic Engineer for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and honorary degree recipient. Mr. Roger Underwood, lifelong entrepreneur, investor, and philanthropist, and commencement speaker. Regent Kurt Jaden, Iowa Board of Regents, and Laura and Russ Talbot, endowed acting president and chief executive officer of the Iowa State University Alumni Association. Dr. Toya Younger, senior vice president for student affairs. Dr. Sean Reeder, senior vice president for operations and finance. Dr. Robert Wallace, Associate Professor of Ecology, Evolution, and Organismal Biology, and Chief Faculty Marshal. Dr. Anne-Marie Vanderzanden, Associate Provost for Academic Programs. Mr. David Spalding, David and Ellen Raisbeck, Endowed Dean of the Ivy College of Business and Vice President for Economic Development and Industry Relations. Dr. Daniel Robeson, Endowed Dean's Chair of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Dr. Monica Howard, Assistant Dean of Veterinary Student Success in the College of Veterinary Medicine. Ms. Hillary Zayo, Dean of Library Services. Ms. Sharon Evans, Associate Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students. Dr. Megan Gillette, Associate Teaching Professor of Human Development and Family Studies and Faculty Senate President. Dr. Jennifer Sukon, University Registrar. Dr. Amy Kalita, Professor, and Larry and Benita Buss, Department Chair of Agriculture and Biosystems Engineering, and the faculty marshals, departmental representatives, student marshals, and university escorts for today's commencement ceremonies. Please join me in recognizing them. Thank you. You may be seated. On behalf of our university leaders, faculty, and staff, we are delighted to honor and celebrate our newest graduates of Iowa State University. Commencement is the most important and significant ceremony that our university holds. For our graduates, it represents the culmination of years of hard work, focused study, perseverance, and personal growth. For family and friends, it's a time to share in the success of their graduate and to be recognized for the wonderful support and care they have provided through the years. And for Iowa State University, it represents the successful completion of our most important responsibility to society, providing the comprehensive education to prepare the next generation of scholars, innovators, and leaders. Graduates, you are joining a very special group of people who hold the degrees from this renowned institution. We are so proud of you, and we know that you will continue to bring great pride to this university. Congratulations to all of you. I now call on Dr. Anne-Marie Vanderzanden, Associate Provost, to begin the honorary degree presentation.
At today's ceremony, Iowa State University is privileged to bestow an honorary degree its 151st in university history. Dr. Megan Gillette, President of the Faculty Senate, will introduce the distinguished recipient to President Winterstein. Will you please rise, Mr. Buss? President Winterstein, on behalf of the faculty of Iowa State University, the Faculty Senate has recommended and the Iowa Board of Regents has approved awarding the honorary degree Doctor of Science to Mr. Larry Buss. Larry Buss has a unique status of having pursued two highly successful but distinctively different careers simultaneously, farming and engineering. Mr. Buss is currently a licensed professional engineer, a certified floodplain manager, and a board-certified water resources engineer. He holds a bachelor's degree in agricultural engineering from Iowa State University and a master's degree in civil engineering from the University of Nebraska. After a stint with the U.S. Navy working on nuclear submarines, Mr. Buss joined the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in Omaha, Nebraska, where he served as a water resources engineer for more than 40 years. He also began his farming career in 1972 with the purchase of 19 acres of land south of Missouri Valley, Iowa, that had 5 acres of alfalfa. No tractor or equipment, just a pickup truck, a vision, and a lot of ambition. Mr. Buss has been persistent in expanding his farming operation, which today encompasses several thousand acres, grain elevators at 2 locations with more than 1.3 million bushels of grain storage, 2 companies, and a team of employees. Mr. Buss's innovative approach to farming has set him apart as a leader in Iowa agriculture. He was a pioneer in adapting no-till farming practices and introducing cover crops to improve water quality and soil health. A leader in pest management, Mr. Buss is also credited with implementing the Iowa Pest Resistance Management Program in Harrison County and across the state of Iowa. Mr. Buss's engineering acumen and work in floodplain management have earned national and international recognition. In 2011, as chair of the Missouri River Flood Fight Coalition, he spearheaded efforts that prevented more than $150 million in losses and safeguarded communities. Since 2012, he has served as chair of the Rand-Peterson Levee District Board of Trustees, overseeing a levee that protects key infrastructure, communities, and farmland in western Iowa. Thanks to his leadership, the levee withstood major floods in 2019 and 2024. Mr. Buss's dedication to agriculture and rural communities is reflected in his involvement with numerous organizations. He has held various leadership roles with the Iowa Corn Growers Association, the Iowa Corn Promotion Board, and the Iowa Master Farmers Association. His involvement with the U.S. Grains Council and the National Corn Growers Association has furthered the interests of Iowa's agricultural community on a national and global scale. President Winterstein, it is my pleasure to present Mr. Larry Buss for an honorary degree from Iowa State University.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Iowa Board of Regents as president of Iowa State University, it gives me great pleasure to bestow upon you, Mr. Larry Buss, the honorary degree, Doctor of Science, with all attendant rights, privileges, and obligations. Another round of applause for Mr. Larry Buss. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the keynote speaker for this morning's undergraduate commencement ceremony. Roger Underwood is a lifelong entrepreneur, investor, and philanthropist. After graduating from Iowa State University in 1980 with a degree in agricultural business, Roger co-founded Becker Underwood in aims to develop a specialty colorant to mark herbicide application, resulting in more efficient farming practices. From humble beginnings with less than $46,000 in sales their first year, the company grew into a global leader with 420 employees and $256 million in revenue across 7 countries on 5 continents. In 2012, Becker Underwood sold to BASF for just over $1 billion. Roger has served on the boards of several companies, civic and community organizations. He is currently an investor in and chair of Pivot Bio, a member of the board of Kent Corporation, and a founding limited partner in the Rural American Fund in Chicago. A founding supporter of America's Cultivation Corridor, Roger has led efforts to position Iowa as a global ag innovation hub. Roger is an Iowa State University Foundation governor and is deeply involved with Iowa State University, receiving numerous honors for his leadership, service, and career achievements. He was inducted into the Iowa Business Hall of Fame in 2024 and is dedicated to mentoring entrepreneurs. Please join me in welcoming Roger Underwood.
Yesterday, Dr. Winterstein announced her retirement January 1st of 2026. We would be remiss if we didn't give her one heck of a big Hilton Coliseum thank you. She told me if I did that, she was going to kill me. Good morning, graduates, faculty, families, and friends. It's a tremendous honor to stand before you on your graduation day. Thank you, President Winterstein, for asking me to be a part of this ceremony. 45 years ago, I sat on the floor of Hilton Coliseum and received my Iowa State degree in ag business. I remember the speaker was short, to the point, and then got back to his seat, just like you're hoping for today. Graduates, as you sit here adorned in your festive caps and gowns, you stand on the precipice of a new chapter in your lives. This moment is more than the culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and perseverance. It's your individual and personal gateway to the many, many opportunities that lie ahead. As you embark on your journey, I challenge you to consider 3 simple yet very profound words. Don't be afraid. The principle of don't be afraid has been an important compass that has successfully guided me in my life. I challenge each of you to embrace the idea of don't be afraid and let that idea guide you in the years, months, and decades ahead. 2 years after I got my Iowa State degree, I quit my comfortable job in Minnesota and started a business in agriculture with my best friend from high school. We had a simple yet unproven idea for an ag product, and we had $7,000 between us. And we figured out many years later we were both lying. We didn't have $7,000. We had no place to develop the product. We had no place to manufacture it. Once it was developed, we just had this simple idea. I was barely past the age of 23 we started the company anyway. We should have been terribly afraid, but we were not afraid. We were confident we could succeed if we simply embraced our education and we spent our pennies wisely and we were smart about how we did things. A rundown 640 square foot building in East Ames became our base of operations. When we moved in, there were more raccoons and mice living in the building than the two of us. We stumbled ahead anyway and sold $46,000 of product in our first year. We should have been afraid at that point. It took 7 more years before we achieved $1 million of revenue in a single year. By then, we had 9 products. Even at $1 million in sales, we still should have been afraid. But we got to work and we made products that our customers wanted. We treated them like royalty, and we listened to our customers, focused on product quality, hired really, really good people, many of them Iowa Staters, and we paid them very well. Our company grew over the years. Fast forward to the year 2000, 2 simple kids from Western Iowa, Jeff Becker and I, made 4 international acquisitions in 12 months: France, Brazil, Australia, and Canada. We should have been afraid. We grew our company to over 500 employees and $250 million in sales by 2012, and sold our company for a number that started with B. It turns out that not being afraid was a really good decision. But let's return to graduation day this morning here at Hilton Coliseum. Don't you be afraid. Don't be afraid to leave here today with your own individual idea for your own exciting future and a smile on your face. You've worked hard to reach this point and special moment, and it's important to pause just for a while and recognize all the achievements that you have gotten to get you to this point. Embrace today the well-earned joy of this occasion and embrace the excitement of what lies ahead. Remember that your smile will open many more doors than your frown will. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to work hard in your career. Success rarely comes without considerable effort, dedication, and perseverance. A strong work ethic is key to achieving lofty goals. Treat the many challenges ahead as building blocks and opportunities. Remember, always remember that demanding work normally leads to rewarding outcomes. I never gave up on my company, even when times got tough. There's no reason that you should give up on your own career or your possible future company. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to activate and chase your passions. Passion is a powerful motivator. Passion will bring out the best in you. Pursue what excites you, whether that passion is in your career or your own business or your personal life. Let your passion and enthusiasm drive you forward, and do not hesitate to explore avenues that resonate with your own interests. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to start a business. Owning and running your own business can be the best thing you ever did. The entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well at Iowa State. Thank you to Dr. Winterstein and her leadership. And many of you have the potential to create something extraordinary. Whether you have a groundbreaking idea for a product or a groundbreaking idea for a service, don't be afraid to take that leap. The world needs fresh perspectives, innovative solutions, and we need more disruptive companies. Don't beg others for a seat at their table when you can build your own table. Always remember this too. When you own your own company, nobody ever again will ask you what your college grade point average was. You see, I failed freshman chemistry twice. Seriously, before I passed it. So I later started a chemical company. You still happy I'm up here, Wendy? Yeah. But there was one more thing. Then I proudly graduated in the top 75% of my class. If I can do it, all of you can do it, and do it even bigger and better. Now, I'm not sure who should have been more afraid, me or my customers. But don't you be afraid. Don't be afraid to look nice either. Understand the importance of presenting yourself well. Know when to put on a tie, a sport coat, a suit, or a dress. Looking nice is not old-fashioned. First impressions do matter. I'll bet some of you spent 4 years in sweatpants living off of Just Pizza down in Campus Town. Dress up tonight, put on a jacket, and maybe Mom and Dad will buy you a steak at Aunt Maud's. But don't leave here afraid. Don't be afraid to take calculated risks. The path of an entrepreneur is often filled with uncertainty, but it is in those very moments of uncertainty that you will discover your true potential. Embracing opportunities that come your way, even if they seem daunting. Remember, every successful venture starts with a simple step or a leap of faith, and by careful consideration and planning. Fear can be a risk that pushes you to plan better and to overcome future risks. Why not turn your Iowa State degree into a legacy of smart risk-taking, say in about an hour and a half? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to thank your parents, your favorite professors, your advisor, and others for helping you on this Iowa State journey. Their support, encouragement, teaching, and mentoring have been instrumental in your success. Take a moment and show that sincere gratitude. Don't be afraid to activate and expand on your network of relationships. Think of all the relationships here. The relationships you have already built at your time at Iowa State are simply invaluable. Your network will provide positive support, guidance, and opportunities that you may not anticipate today, but you will once you get out of here. Back in my day, 45 years ago, we kept track of our relationships with rotary dial telephones, typewriters, postage stamps, and fax machines. You guys have email, text messaging, Zoom, FaceTime, WhatsApp, Slack, WebEx, Teams, Twitch, and the internet. Does anybody know what Twitch even is? I don't. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to make your bed, wash your car, and clean your apartment. These simple acts of responsibility and care will set a positive tone for your day and for your life. These activities project discipline and attention to detail that will carry over into everything else you do. And yes, I have to say it, eat your vegetables, unless they're Brussels sprouts. Then they should be left on the plate. And I'm convinced I'm the first person to ever mention Brussels sprouts in a commencement address. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be curious. Curiosity is often the spark of innovation and creativity that makes a difference. Seek knowledge, ask questions, probe, do your research, and never, ever, ever stop learning, even when you get your degree. Embrace the unknown and allow your inquisitive mind to lead you to new discoveries and insights. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to explore your faith. Faith can play a crucial role in many aspects in your life, influencing personal beliefs, relationships, the community, and any other dynamic around you. Understanding your faith beliefs can provide you with the necessary strength that you may need in times of uncertainty. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be different. Embrace your individuality and let it shine. The world needs diverse voices and different perspectives. Your unique traits and individual ideas can lead you and others around you to innovation and progress in many ways that we can't even think of right now. Celebrate what makes you, you. And don't conform to pressures to push you into somebody else's mold. Just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to stay calm during chaos. Remain wise. Don't be afraid to always show up when your mind tells you it's okay to quit. Don't be afraid to wake up early. It's all right to be up while the world is still asleep. Don't be afraid to choose discipline over motivation. Motivation simply sets your goals on autopilot. Was there ever chaos at my own company in those early years? Of course there was, but I never became afraid, nor should you. Don't you be afraid. Don't be afraid to read a newspaper that leans to the left or leans to the right of your typical thinking. It's okay to listen to a news station whom editorials you often disagree with. Listening and engaging in diverse perspectives is crucial for personal growth. Talk openly and politely with the neighbor down the street who has a political sign in their yard for a candidate who is running against the candidate whose political sign is in your yard. Understanding differing viewpoints fosters empathy and can lead to better informed and well-rounded opinions. Just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to join civic organizations like Rotary, the Lions Club, a political party, the PTA, or the Cyclone Club. Participation in these groups merely expands that network we talked about earlier. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to engage in activities that promote positive mental wellness and self-care, such as prayer, meditation, or reading. Don't be afraid to seek assistance if you feel overwhelmed or anxious. We are all better off as a society if we lean into each other in times of need. Just don't be afraid. Hard work and determination earn the cap and gown that you're wearing today. So as you scatter far and wide in a couple of hours outside these Hilton Coliseum doors, just please take the Don't Be Afraid theme with you. The future is now yours to shape. Learn from the challenges, mistakes, and stumbles that surely lie ahead as you make your own individual paths. Embrace your fears, for they are the gateway to your greatest successes. Don't be afraid to dream big, act boldly, and remember, always remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Congratulations, class of 2025. Go forth with the confidence and courage, and I think as a group, we should all join together and say really loud the three magic words that we just talked about this morning. Don't be afraid. Oh, come on, Hilton Coliseum, one more time. Don't be afraid. Congratulations, class.
Okay, one more time. Don't be afraid. All right. Thank you, Roger Underwood. Wonderful commencement address. A round of applause for Roger Underwood. We will now hear from our student brass ensemble under the direction of Dr. Michael Galimo.
President Winterstein will begin the recognition of graduates, followed by the presentation of degrees.
At this time, I call upon Associate Provost Dr. Anne-Marie van der Zanden to recognize those students graduating with distinction, those students graduating from the University Honors Programs, and all those with military service.
At this time, I would like to recognize the students who are graduating with distinction. At Iowa State, grade point averages are based on a 4.0 scale. This recognition also appears on the official transcript and university diploma. Those students graduating summa cum laude with highest distinction have earned a grade point average of 3.90 or higher, and they are wearing cardinal and gold honor cords. Will those students with highest distinction please rise? Thank you. You may be seated. Those students graduating magna cum laude with great distinction have earned a grade point average of 3.7 to 3.89, and they are wearing gold honor cords. Will those students with great distinction please rise? You may be seated. Those students graduating cum laude with distinction have earned a grade point average of 3.5 to 3.69, and they are wearing cardinal honor cords. Will those students with distinction please rise? I offer you sincere congratulations on behalf of the faculty of the university. Next, I would like to recognize the students who are graduating from the University Honors Program. Students receiving this recognition have maintained a grade point average of at least 3.5, have shown initiative in developing their own individualized program of study, and ingenuity in designing and completing an independent honors research project. They are wearing a medallion. Will those students graduating from the University Honors Program please rise? You may be seated. Finally, I would like to recognize all those in attendance today, graduates and audience members alike, who have served, who are serving, or who will be serving our country in the military following graduation. We are deeply grateful for your commitment and service. Would those individuals please rise as you are able so we may recognize you? Please be seated.
Associate Provost van der Zanden, I now call upon you to present the candidates for bachelor's degrees.
We shall now proceed with the conferring of the undergraduate degrees and awarding of diplomas. Will all candidates for the bachelor's degrees please rise? President Winterstein, these candidates have successfully completed their curricula in their respective colleges. They have been recommended by the college faculty and the Faculty Senate, and they are approved by the Board of Regents, State of Iowa, for the bachelor's degree.
In recognition of the satisfactory completion of your studies in your respective colleges and by the authority delegated to me by the Iowa Board of Regents, I confer upon you a bachelor's degree. As is tradition, I now ask all bachelor's degree recipients to move their tassels from the right side to the left side of their caps. Please be seated.
The candidates from each college will walk to the side stairs, up the platform, and across the stage to be recognized. We will begin with the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Dean Daniel Robeson will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
President Winterstein, Associate Provost van der Zanden, I am privileged to present Jennifer Holliday, the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences Student Marshal. There we go. Jennifer is graduating magna cum laude with a Bachelor of Science degree in Agricultural Studies, in Journalism and Mass Communication, and in International Agriculture. Jennifer has been extraordinarily involved at Iowa State, serving as the COWS Council Treasurer, placing first nationally in team and individual contests to the Professional Agricultural Students Organization, excelling as Student Government President, engaging with campus leaders, and implementing new initiatives. She is extraordinary. Next, Jennifer will pursue a master's degree through the Institute University Superior of Agronomy, studying food systems and food sustainability, first for a year in Italy, then a year in France, and we are thrilled with what she's going to do next. I want to give a shout out to Jennifer's mom and dad, Jody and Doug. Jennifer is escorted here by our outstanding academic advisor, Nate Dobles, an advisor in the Agricultural Education and Studies Department. Please join me, all of us, on behalf of the tremendous and outstanding graduates of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences in congratulating Jennifer.
Cameron Mark Sharkey.
Amber Lee Rue Stenner and Cedar.
Sage Edward Holsheiser.
Ella Nelson.
Madeline Statmuller.
Amy Marie Schaefer.
Allison Smithson.
Kathleen Monica Zom.
Haley Lopez.
Ashley Elizabeth DeBollas.
Victoria Lynn Sawyer.
Abigail Jo Blagg.
Darian Toscano.
Amelia Agnes Klosterman.
Jocelyn A. Chambers.
Britton Page Walter.
Abigail Wing.
Madison Marie Groh.
Hannah Marie Everhart.
Hannah Marie Clubb.
Dawson Gregory Wadsworth.
Catherine Jane Haney.
Ariana Lovejoy Hitchko.
Anne Elizabeth Gillespie.
Ananya Srida Jampala.
Aurora Gowan.
Jenna Danielle Siebrecht.
Matthew Joseph Parr.
Logan Keenan.
Jonah Monternock.
Corinne Dubois.
Morgan Lee Peak.
Anna Wynn.
Lauren Margaret Frisch.
Emma May Riga.
Cheyenne Danielle Brogdon.
Victoria Peterson.
Lauren Elizabeth Lacey.
Kennedy Marie Montag.
Kayla Marie Cook.
Jessica Norris.
Riley J. Patry.
Sarah Julian Fritz.
Madison Lynn Ryan.
Nicholas R. McGee.
Jonathan Gerald Ryan.
Adnan E. Kelich.
Jordan Edher.
Grace Helly.
Erica M. Culver.
Johanna Danielle Rupo.
Rachel Lindstrom.
Emma Podlick.
Sylvia Jean Poor.
Sadie Lyons.
Rory Noel Wagner.
Peyton Colleen Blair.
Marissa Stone.
Callista Bowen.
Kylie Mae Dietz.
Kylie Lynn McElmeal.
Gracelyn Dahlhauser.
Branson Michael Benson.
Shannon Ann Rossman.
Kelsey Lynn Briney.
Haley Ann Lynn.
Lily A. Matchart.
Joanne Marie Drago.
Austin Michael Von Bank.
Faith Irene McNaney.
Wyatt W. Page.
Muriel Murillo.
Kimberly P. Iñárritu Rodriguez.
Dory Lee Washkett.
Riley Rakotsi.
Wesley David Brainerd.
Cheng Sheng Sai.
Matthew Michael Cornder.
Cameron Johnson.
Delaney Schroer.
Kirsten Elizabeth Shavokis.
Tessa Lynn Orput.
Trey John Swanson.
Mia M. Hagee.
Colton E. Eisma.
Stephanie Marie Rodriguez.
Benjamin Kujawa.
Catherine E. Cogshaw.
Sabrina Ann Becker.
Colton Matthew Gillum.
Evelyn Rose Bauer.
Aubrey B. Cleveland.
Kate Marie Henniger.
Amber Dawn Province.
Victor Gerard Lampy.
Carson Fraser.
Nicholas John Kellisick.
Sean M. Fitzpatrick.
Eric James Kovo.
Emily Christine Plagman.
Owen Quo Cummins.
Benjamin Jackson Pop.
Sarah Elizabeth Meese.
Matthew Larson.
Caroline Meese.
William Eugene Bushbaum.
Allison Marie Decker.
Ella Hummel.
Ina Stoyanovich.
Timothy John Stanley.
Alexia Marie Corwin.
Carter E. Casey.
Serena Lynn Hilgendorf.
Nicholas Edward Van de Woonstein.
Kaylee Sue Shaner.
Tony Rosser II.
Arshita Sharma.
Lucas Joseph Ashes.
Kelsa Rose Bartels.
Melissa Sue Milstead.
Trenton Edward Gebhardt.
Brooke Marie Johnson.
Kylie Lohman.
Kyle Murphy Goon.
Anissa Daniel.
Juviento Leva Garcia.
Madeline Paige Berge.
Jenna Sue Miller.
Alex Michael Bray.
Drew William Conley.
Matt Butler.
Hannah Elizabeth Cook.
Heather Morgan Sutherland.
Kasha Pytel.
Holly Alexa Hillbrandt.
Juliana E. Esposito.
Haley Rose McBurney.
Adele Marie Hogan.
Brian Adolfo Cruz.
Mackenzie Morgan Ruff.
Cooper Van Howen.
Aaron Lee Davidson.
Ian Samuel Crossett.
Tabitha Alma Palfinier.
Ashley Speichner.
Everly Constance Harvey.
Braden Timothy Latcham.
Angela A. Aiello.
Dylan Klinker.
Cassandra Lynn Slater.
Braden Mikesell.
Shraddha Silori.
Bryce Sheahay.
David J. Schmid.
David Etham Grum.
Zachary John Wiggins.
Carson Michael Lambert.
Marianne R. Capacious.
Marianne Yelis Rosa.
Kylie Ray Bartz.
Allie Catherine Shuley.
Adiana Isabella Rodriguez.
Keaton Paul Kelly.
Destiny Bales.
Katie Marie Roeder.
Mia Facio.
Emily Ann Rober.
Luke Calson Firehelm.
Autumn Danielle Marks.
Derek D. Niles.
Jessica Lynn Patton.
Cade Eichmeyer.
Igor Enrique Andrade Ferro.
Mackenzie K. Makinich.
Dawson X. Shank.
Katerina Christian Santos Bittencourt de Almeida.
Cole Repsher.
Mateo Arrea Rodriguez.
Rachel Silhanic.
Sydney Claire Pottebaum.
Haley Ann Rose Sawyers.
Emily Malia Fry.
Sophia Grace Parker.
Yasmin Alice Pennell.
Eden Lily Grimes.
Leslie Delgado.
Taja Dawn Landy.
Giselle Gonzalez Martinez.
Madison Alexis Nelson.
Kaylee May Arnold.
Kaylee Renee Page Young.
Sarah Rose Watchell.
Emily Rose Whitehall.
Joel Buckley Schwartz.
Ella Elizabeth Wolfram.
Connor James Moore.
Catherine Shefflin.
Jackson Paul Schimmelfennig.
Aaron Raven.
Luke Frazee.
Rowan Pinkerton.
Roy Thomas Carter.
Aaron Louise McAnich.
Lex Craig Castle.
Gabrielle Marie Tamarine.
Delaney Ann Nichols.
Jenna Marie Sposato.
Michaela Christine Jones.
Tony Allen Krebs.
Chloe Marie Eulenhock.
Benjamin Moss.
Sydney Hansen.
Isaiah Jacob Bates.
Chloe Marie Henry.
Bailey Michelle Latter.
Jalen P. Skockle.
Elizabeth May Caskey.
Rachel Olivia Voss.
Abigail Rose Knight.
Tanya Stephanie Carbajal.
Won Jun Shin.
Bo C. Niederhoff.
Cameron Ann Schultz.
Jake Connor Yeager.
Kylie Schulte McLeod.
Ethan J. Heiter.
Grace Ann Townsend.
Jack Patton Campbell.
Lillian Marie Reynolds.
Drew Stout.
Emily K. Walling.
Kendall Marie Townsley.
Alexa Marie Newgard.
Zoe Heitschuh.
Kaylee Marie Workman.
Lauren Marks.
Marissa Faith Thompson.
Kaylee Detman.
Andrew O'Connell.
Megan K. Katsung.
Caleb Joseph Brands.
Kaylee J. Bauman.
Emma Loney.
Carly M. Wright.
Palomi Mondal.
Adriana Morgan Cruzy.
Macy Joe Cleesby.
Reagan Marie Kime.
Tegan Jack Roush.
Mariana Avery Brenner.
Thomas William Vastine.
Trevor Allen Mathis.
Emily Marie Malashevsky.
Brady Benning.
Samantha Elizabeth Robinson.
Andrew Warnell.
Jenna Marie Goslin.
Jordan Swift.
Dyson J. Bloom.
Alex Daniel Swift.
Katanya L. Anderson.
Braden James Soboski.
Jackson C. Sturley.
Cole Benjamin Einen.
Megan Nicole Johnson.
Riley Guajardo.
Alexis Lynn Hartman.
Cooper Constant Reed.
Riley Joe Hundley.
Dale Emmett Lyons.
Lauren K. Zabel.
Rafe Rodman Axmere.
Olivia Grace Vanderveen.
Victoria Aleza Schwarting.
Emma Joyce Frederick.
Mackenzie K. Washoe.
Ethan Tyler Jaden.
Naomi Grace Scott.
Daniel Barzilai.
Aiden Carl Bobholtz.
Philip Joseph Young.
Nathan Trey Zupke.
Braden Hormel Johnson.
Claire Elizabeth Gross.
Christopher A. Borowski.
Ethan Thomas Rollinger.
Jared John Carolyn.
Tiger John Baskey.
Letabo Nalede Kekana.
Taylor May Sublett.
Samuel Joseph Bowen.
Madeline Rose Clemmy. Nicole
Maximilian Preston Rolling.
Nicole Maxine Wardenberg.
Tiernan Crowley.
Vanessa C. Nicholas.
Hallie E. Hansen.
Megan Elizabeth O'Brien.
Jennifer Ann Boer.
Olivia Justine Birchka.
Arlie Sue Lorak.
Colton Silvera.
Carly Fisher.
Elizabeth Moser.
Addison Jean Baumert.
Jenna Nicole Tlock.
McKenna Beard.
Ashlyn J. Frederick.
Allison Betho.
Kesley Ann Holdgrafer.
Haley Foss.
Jacob Kent Sutton.
Ivan Lambertson.
Grant Hogan.
Amanda Rose Earhart.
Cole Scott Moss.
Emma Elizabeth Ward.
Carter Kriegel.
Keegan Mitchell Glynn.
Cade Allen Kennan.
Patrick Hand.
Avery Lane Thronson.
Samuel Hardesty.
Chase Olivia Burgess.
Carly Elizabeth Williams.
Lola Steele Well.
Sarah Ann Mitchell.
Catherine Anna Jensen.
Blake J. Peterson.
Erin Ann Prisball.
Zachary Ethan Zawebo.
Wesley G. DiMartino.
Jack Joseph Beats.
Jacob Daniel Crystal.
Kendall Hallbaker.
Rebecca L. Inman.
Alexandra Marilyn Mamani.
Kimberly Ann Selner.
Griffin Carizia.
Mackenzie Kennis.
Trey William Leto.
Rebecca Jokums.
Austin Glenn Foss.
Connor Michael.
Evan Ladwig.
Marty J. McAtee.
Jacob R. Bresner.
Blaine Alexander Coleman.
Jonathan Downey.
Carson Michael Dukar.
Tyler James Murray.
Brooklyn Faith Elwood.
Carter John Payton.
Tejasvini Kumaran Mali.
Cole Francis Kelly.
James Creel.
Hunter Anderson.
Kennedy Steberg.
Cade J. Austin.
Charles David Mitchell Jr.
Madison Jean Stevenson.
Lauren Alexis McDonald.
Tyson Fleshner.
Eleanor Marie McGee.
Caden David Spore Leader.
Nirmalis Lian Morero.
Blake A. Kossel.
Jose Roberto Bravo.
Avery Knobloch.
Sophia Isabel Muniz Ferrer.
Cecilia Christine Ryden.
Kate Sophia Geron.
Ella Lynn Toot.
Chloe May Schaefer.
Rachel E. Berry.
Andrew John Stevenson.
Evan Russell White.
Blake Duncan Ganpat.
Ryan Fraser.
Grace Victoria Baker.
Madison Lynn Herrig.
Samantha Joy Beardsley.
Abby Renea Probosco.
Jera Emil Christensen.
Lauren Lynn Jakey.
Hannah Colette Wida.
Madeline H. Friend.
Rebecca Joyce Cowan.
Jamie Joe Halick.
Avery Ann O'Neill.
Brooklyn F. Botterman.
Yasmin Maria Ramirez.
Faith Johnson.
McKenna Blake.
Nicole A. Ryan.
Rachel Celine.
Malia Morgan Upton.
Alicia Peterson.
Jordan Riley Collins.
Stephanie Lynn Major.
Madeline Marie Harford.
Trenton J. Major.
Riley Rose Obeltrup.
Anna Pulsarud.
Lauren E. McFadden.
Adler J. Shea.
Travis Matthew Michael.
Tyann Precious K. Towns.
Natalie Hunt.
Haley Janelle Carey.
Ilsa Pearl Johnson.
Sarah Clementine Eiler.
Cameron Joe Williamson.
Tessa Jean Halverson.
Bryce Saxon Byford.
Tesla C. Schmid.
Noah Matthew Anderson.
John Robert Freitag.
Blake Nathan Hernke.
Jackson Isaac Goshen.
Conrad William Boyer.
Isabella Yam.
Evan Martin Putz.
Kyle Stevens Katina.
Ileana Sejankova.
Andrew Joseph Pio Quinto.
Brooke Terry Ann Miller.
Samantha Brown.
Carissa Faith Gerwig.
Colin Ryan Richardson.
Isabella Grace Roberts.
Paige Lauren Fitzgerald.
Zachary Vernon Zielstra.
Meadow Harley Edwards.
Cole Russell Slark.
Courtney Lynn Vandehei.
Kale Michael Weaver.
Jacob J. Imhoff.
Isaac Paul Knutson.
Chase Michael Johnston.
Annabelle Strauss.
Jacob Michael Samuelson.
Michael E. Van Ruten.
Anna G. Endelman.
Emma Elizabeth Mostek.
Fiona Margaret Bierstedt.
Luana Rocha Bedal.
Molly Nikolai.
Kevin Michael Lynch.
Matthew Wayne Ridberg.
Cajun M. Batterson.
Ashton Michael Whitson.
Chase Brocklesby.
Devin Miller.
John Robert Walters.
John Gabriel Brozovic.
Benjamin Scott Clayton.
Dylan Matthew Yegi.
Paige Elizabeth Lurkey.
Ian Michael Callahan.
Taylor L. Dunham.
Nevin Sterling Stark.
Alyssa Ann Wilkins.
Tyler Ray Ekstrom.
Paige Ashley Grafton.
Carl A. Growlich.
Veronica Alexia Alvarado.
Isaac Trent Lehue.
Jenna Ripperger.
Wesley Allen Anderson.
Jack Joyce.
Olivia Christina Welsh.
Caitlin Elizabeth Flick.
Jocelyn Lou Possernich.
Emma Jean Heaney.
Jenna May Sko Schrader.
Sophia Grace Schmidt.
Taylor B. Evans.
Arenadi Fernando.
Rose Mary Curtis.
Rachel Victoria Corrent.
Ellen Ruby Gunnison.
Sarah Abigail McCooey.
Carl T. Stutzman.
Joseph D. Peterson.
Clayton Harry Stoskoff.
Jack Michael Stotts.
Sarah Catherine Putzi.
Catherine Carey Nelson.
Mary June Putzi.
Emma Marie Preston.
Michael Paul Reynolds.
Liberty Lane Dexter.
Luke Swiatek.
Sarah E. Luster.
Austin Michael Baumhover.
Jaden Taylor Sunderman.
Stephen Byrne.
Mackenzie Jane Sandin.
Drew Evan Tuttle.
Lance Joseph Miller.
Ethan Douglas C.
Cade James Hoganberry.
Riley Olivia Thill.
Gavin James Thompson.
Peyton Timothy Dvorak.
Brianna Baumler.
Jaden Henson.
Kayla Schrepfer.
Osborne M. Myborg.
Michaela Jo Newgill.
Haley Rose Nelson.
Luke Avery Murray.
Maggie May Stutzman.
Evan Bollinger.
Victor Al-Shami.
Brennan Holder.
Andrew Guillermo Reynazapon.
Tori Allen Feldman.
Ethan James Kim.
Bridget C. Thiel. Janie Genevieve Gingrich. Yusuf Salama. Lachlan J. Ruff. Aiden R. Crispin. Yong Lin Fong. Griffin Thomas Trago. Jackson Fraser Meyer. Lily Ann Pumphrey. Josie Rose Faga. Owen Walker Burak. Dolores J. Drendel. Alitha Shana Mugisha. Ishel Sarabia Avila. Tan Jung Wen. Brian Salah Altorayev. Next, graduates from the Ivy College of Business. Dean David Spaulding will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
President Winterstein, Associate Provost Vander Zanden, I'm privileged to present Aaron Rundock, the Debbie and Jerry Ivy College of Business Student Marshal. He is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Finance, magna cum laude. He also earned a bachelor's degree in financial counseling and planning from the College of Health and Human Sciences. He is accompanied by his faculty escort, Kurt Hoff, Professor of Practice in Finance. As an Ivy student, Aaron served as president of the Finance Club and vice president of the Consulting Club. He also participated in 6 international case competitions working as part of a team developing solutions to real-world problems. Aaron was inducted into Cardinal Key, Iowa State's highest honor society, and Beta Gamma Sigma, the Business Honor Society. Aaron completed 3 internships while at Iowa State, one with CUSB Bank in Cresco, Iowa, and 2 internships with wealth management firms. As a financial planning intern at Mariner Wealth Advisors in Austin, Texas, he assisted wealth advisors to prepare complex financial plans for high net worth individuals. Last summer, he interned with Charles Schwab in Phoenix, Arizona, where he participated in a rotational program covering the full scope of wealth management. Aaron passed the Certified Financial Planner exam in November 2024. After graduation, he will join Touchstone Wealth in Scottsdale, Arizona, to begin his career as a financial advisor. Please join me in congratulating Aaron and all of the graduates of the Debbie and Jerry Ivy College of Business.
Claire Jaden.
Elliot Carter Perrin.
Reese Catherine Cox.
Carson Stephen Stombaugh.
Brian Zachary DeMilo.
Maddie Mary Schultz.
Allie Brandt.
Lucas D. Rudeman.
Diego Andrade Robles.
Nolan Scott Wagner.
Zachary James Skippers.
Josie Bryn Fitzgerald Lehman.
Grace Ackerman.
Kelsey Elaine Henson.
Catherine Kroll.
Caleb Trozen.
Trent Allen Hambleton.
Samuel Fish Streeter.
Seth J. Danker.
Luke William Meyer.
Ashley Rose Hall.
Catherine A. Gillespie.
Colby J. Wilness.
Catherine Curtis.
Abby Julia Cowan.
Malia Jade Long.
Abigail Elizabeth Cobb.
Ashley Smith.
Ryan Michael Kling.
Kathy Chow Bui.
Joey Kenneth Johnson.
Stephen Stavage.
Jaden Seiler.
Parker Ritchie.
Dorothy Ann Staton.
Joseph McCulloch.
Caroline Pattison.
Tyler Phillip Trotta.
Lauren Elizabeth Sloan.
Andrew James Mitchell.
Julia Autumn Woolever.
Caden Wayne Strum.
Catherine Claire Hansen.
Cole David Ganson.
Ellie Yaste.
Caleb James Martins.
Parker Rayanne Hiscox.
Cale McCormick Clausen.
Logan James Wright.
Aiden Ross Penning.
Carl Charles Larson.
Terrius Miller.
Kylie K. Scow.
Olivia R. Horan.
Shay Tilgis.
Perla Elizabeth Cruz.
Sophie Anastasia Griffin.
Jaden Stephen Dale Buchanan.
Janelle Barbara Boso.
Jacob James Shao.
Clarice Koenig.
Cooper R. Lackey.
Lauren Elizabeth Bauer.
Brett A. McGee.
Adrian Mendoza Lopez.
Clay Willardson.
Melissa Sabick.
Code Nicholas Banwart.
Olivia C. Newton.
Michael Keith Kraus.
Alexa K. Rieselman.
Alexander Tiedens.
Eric Paul Vaneski.
Joshua Euling.
Hank Allen Powers.
Cooper Kuhlemeyer.
Daewon Lee.
Logan Marks.
Mariana Alberson.
Grace Marie Penrith.
Alan Joseph Arneson.
Emma Bear.
Jonah Johnston Hoffman.
Anna Johnson.
Juliana Jabor.
Riley Ann Wetlaufer.
Jordy Marie Ahrens.
Andre Aaron Huston.
Mia Annalena Abeja.
Matthew Worthington Barnes.
Gabrielle Marie Hortua.
Joseph Michael DeVerks.
Nora Elizabeth Tates.
Nicholas James McCammon.
Gabrielle May Johnson.
Matthew Jensen.
Macy Ann Creer.
Ethan Swan.
Marley Renee McKay.
Kyler Watson.
Michaela Ann Coomer.
Tyler John Wegner.
Caden Miles Jeffrey.
Riley Leighton Busmus.
Easton John Schultz.
Sean Cunningham.
Brendan Lynn Dielman.
Mason Ryan Menifee.
Andrew Robert Morgan.
Tyler J. Michaels.
John Russell Legler.
Samuel Lawrence Reeve.
Matthew Cupp.
Carson Sergey Willie.
Jacob Moberly.
Chloe Nicole Whitsitt.
Abigail Jacqueline Miller.
Angela Cortez.
Maggie Marie Randall.
Jenna Kathleen Miller.
Connor Anthony Milosky.
Ella P. Whitsitt.
Connor William Jones.
Carter Hamilton.
John Allen Schaefer.
Lucas Samuel Good.
Pierce William Tomka.
Tanner J. Holtz.
James Daniel Strachey Jr.
Brady Paul Wilkes.
Benjamin Timmons Schramm.
Emily Ella Sprouse.
Jillian Haver.
Greta Mary Glazer.
Emma Cruz.
Buzz Christian Dietrich.
Kennedy Kiergaard.
Alexander James Groff.
Caitlin H. DeRoos.
Joseph O'Neill.
Carson Eugene Owens.
Jack R. Reed.
Caden Michael Mitchell.
Olivia Taylor Drury.
Madison Marie Shapansky.
Michael Jeffrey Rylance.
Ella Louise Mann.
Evan Helvig.
Brenna Eileen Beck.
Timothy David Bird.
Claire Elizabeth Flynn.
Ryan Brown.
Ivy E. Hemeseth.
Colin Michael Walsh.
Reagan Marie Hines.
Matthew Armand Harris.
John Wesley Baird.
Connor Daniel McGrath.
Cade C. Knudsen.
Emily Strawn.
Logan Suzanne Thorpe.
Abby Peterson.
Rachel Elizabeth Cruz.
Kiara Spurl.
Morgan Lee Novotny.
Joshua Jorgensen.
Katie C. Arnold.
Corey L. Claybaugh.
Jessica Taylor Grubin.
Peter Douglas Wolf.
Paige J. Terry.
Tyler Jason Sutton.
Allison Butero.
Michael Wentut.
Elizabeth Gass.
Cameron Kierkegaard.
Benjamin Michael Alleman.
Alexander Donald Shepard.
Jordan Jerry Seifries.
Aiden Charles Dunn.
Bennett Willman.
Cole Thomas Hartley.
Marcos Solis Escobar.
Owen Paul Hintz.
Nicholas Gebhardt.
Jacob Hunter Ortel.
Christopher Nichols.
Philip Lynn.
Louis J. Helmers.
Aaron Philip Moore.
Jack Chezik.
Daphne Militi.
Maxton W. Mollering.
Sotiria Eleni Andrios.
Marshall P. Skyteman.
Benjamin John Pelazari.
Kendall Eileen Nuss.
Hunter S. Johnson.
Aisha Asgar.
Justice D. Jones.
Emma May Heiser.
Tyler J. Oberfell.
Madison Sophia Fleissner.
Cole T. Stevenson.
James D. Crockett.
Kylie Joe Kleiner.
Dalton Dale Young.
Erica Rose Becker.
Gabriel Thomas Dodson.
Lexi Ann Ryder.
Aaron Machinsky.
Caleb Marquardt.
Tristan Hoy.
Zach Magnuson.
Samuel Joseph Cotton.
Anna Estella Mickley.
Colin Matthew Sparks.
Lily H. Zelstra.
Annabelle Caroline Walker.
Molly J. McLaughlin.
Simon D. Wagner.
Albany K. Brown.
Stephen Golly.
Grace Gustafson.
Luke McAllister.
Jessica Schmidt.
Carson Palmer Engelkis.
Isabella Ray Manning.
Asa Hudson Tafoya.
Ellie Catherine Burke.
Ethan Luthold.
Victoria Silver.
Quinn Cook.
Megan Marguerite Hester.
Blake Michael Hall.
Lillian Louise Badowski.
Braden Woolen.
Elisa Hamlin.
Kellen Matthew Johnson.
Justin Horgan.
Carter Joseph Weiland.
Zachary John Carson.
Carter Ferry.
Samuel Swegley.
Drew Lateral.
Matthew William Menson.
Brennan Edward Sacco.
Justin Raymond Toth.
Olivia Catherine Higdon.
Kobe Aiden Tenchin.
Madeline Patricia Ruth Barnes.
Elizabeth Grace Berg.
Molly Kate Blomgren.
Annika Lane Anfenrud.
Jacob Blomgren.
Garrett Kirk Penland.
Andrew Ditterman.
Andrew Christian Johnson.
Cooper Stabo.
Ellie Grace Culberson.
Jaden Lowe.
Mary Claire Teresa Greenwood.
Justin Shin.
Emily Grace Anderson.
Faith M. Van Mersenbergen.
William Lopez.
Haley M. Hiddleball.
Marco Lopez.
Caitlin Morgan Megenthaler.
Alfonso Sanchez.
Berkeley Adeline Gaddis.
Jaden Catherine Smith.
Robert S. Wynn.
Olivia Ashlyn Coram.
Eric R. Knupfli.
Liliana Isabel Espindola.
Benjamin John Etzel.
Grace Elaine Pearson.
Cade Rosecker.
Ellie Joe Turner.
Michael Harger.
Sam M. Friend.
Jack Rukowski.
Loheath.
Kenneth Dylan Benoit.
Keravi Jignesh Dave.
Edward Benoit.
Jonah Mark Waltz.
Connor Kelly.
Holly Michelle Johnson.
Joseph Michael Weber.
Brenna Ray Johnson.
Evan Mitchell Smith.
Haley Nicole Vanderhart.
Connor Thompson.
Braden Daniel Rowe.
Jack Evan Butler.
Grant Jameson Skruka.
Christopher Cade Richards.
John Patrick Wilkins.
Jonas Key.
Daniel Patrick McKenna.
Catherine Lee Dane.
James T. Albrecht.
Tanner Lee Deerking.
Julian T. Brown.
Cale Dean Cassidy.
Megan Smith.
Caitlin E. Garner.
Nick O'Toole.
Grace Ann Donahue.
Jeffrey William Helgren Jr.
Joseph Remington Blink.
Riley Ann Merriman.
Daniel James Montalbano.
Michael Bertram.
Tristan Duncan.
Justin Dewey Hess.
Wyatt Lee Scheidel.
Mason Andrew Brown.
Masin Al-Aldin Bashir.
Shadrach Kevon Burridge.
Marvin M. George Sr.
Rachel A. Christman.
Nayamut Thor.
Victoria Hayden Briggs.
Abby Pontreb Krasani.
Adam Hindle.
Alejandro Miranda.
Joshua Nicholas Poria.
Darren Lene Hargett.
Benjamin Paul Reeves.
Bernadette M. Ebambi.
Luke Andreas Scove.
Kelly Malembe.
Alyssa McConnell.
Jackson Kelly White.
Carly Sue Smith.
Jackson Robert Joseph Wisco.
Caitlin Pauline Alt.
Jack Robert Algrim.
Hannah Catherine Daly.
Frank O. Szymanski.
Avery Lynn Canuck.
Colin A. Roach.
Nicholas Brian Launderville.
Isabel Brianna Christie.
Marco Arslan Gedkin.
Jennifer Ann Dykema.
Ethan Dennis Turhark.
Erin Nicole Francis.
Martin Rickovicius.
Will Joseph Lucas.
Caleb M. Kurt.
Landon Thomas Sturch.
Spencer R. Vogelgesang.
Ethan Hansen.
Tristan Joe Loving.
Sawyer Bowman.
Lisandro Ibarra.
William F. Adams.
Victor Dungu.
Robert Lawrence Gerzak.
Santos Marias Campero.
Caitlin Aaron Keene.
Robert Anthony Berry.
Andrew Ross.
Margaret C. Petalin.
Ben Tyler Kettler.
Gracie M. Wilcox.
Sam Upton Shover.
Eduardo Barrientos.
Evan Michael Bird.
Jorge Alexander Garcia.
Jensen Birdwell.
Bowden James Kaler.
Quinlan Ray Stewart.
Andrew Michael Schumacher.
Ryan James Drugsma.
Ben Todd Trolson.
Nicholas William Young.
Corey James Marth.
Blake Ty.
Luke Anthony Kasner.
Ryan M. Shimkat.
Madeline Brown.
Trent M. Hammond.
Carla Sofia Casanova Rodriguez.
Tyler Scott Bittman.
Alana Gonzalez.
Ben D. Byer.
Michelangelo Rocco.
Alex Somane Gyamfi Jr.
Caden Edwards.
Alexander J. Janitsky.
Julia Ann Ludwig.
Chloe Michelle Fletcher.
Julia Cook.
Jasmine Berenice Chavez.
Jaylee Eden Simmons.
Jeremiah Mathis.
Ashani Laurel Brooks.
Matthew James Perrin.
Anna Noel Paskey.
Jack Andrew Larson.
Rachel Bertrand.
Jacob Lyndon Billheimer.
Madison Lewis.
Eli Holden Crawford.
Veda Klinkhammer.
J. Arthur Montgomery.
Elizabeth Mary Raker.
Dhiraj Vagani.
Lily Catherine Weiss.
Brandon David Grote.
Jimena Rosaliz Gonzalez.
Matthew R. Busich.
Bridget Patterson.
Jack Allen Sisson.
Caitlin Marie Geyer.
David Philip Reynolds.
Miss Kurthiga Segar.
Charles Titus.
Janum Mehta.
Donnie Borman.
Philip A. Shade.
Ty Thomas Sardina.
Marie Klapach.
Madeline Cross.
Matthew Frank Klapach.
Kaylee Peterson.
Caitlin M. Dodds.
Karen August McDowell.
C. Lin.
Daniel Patrick Ray.
Matthew Curtis Plotnick.
Michael E. Kern.
Ryan Michael Behrens.
Patrick Andrew Hyder.
Shub Kaliria.
Ian Davenport.
Saketh Chowdhury Benegala.
John Jericho.
Hattie Gale Renfro.
David Girardi.
Alexandra Odie.
Fallon Cord DeWitt.
Jennifer Nguyen.
Riley Ann Keeler.
Oscar Borotowski.
Kaylin Lee Peel.
Win Gao.
Ella Wiley Maurer.
Sally Tron.
Carly Alexis Flores.
Anita T. Nyo.
Ellie Bradshaw.
Kale T. Hundertmark.
Kate Elizabeth Guerra.
Rocio Stephanie Rees.
Mireya Christina Ledesma.
Morgan Nancy Quackenbush.
Abril Juarez Morales.
Simon Anthony Long.
Elijah Robert Suarez.
Aiden Connor Yuckler.
Trey Randall.
Madeline Grace Cox.
Jaden Michelle Johnson.
Brittany Elaine Sikra.
Taylor Barber.
Ryan F. Preddy.
Tyler Halverson.
Ryan Winters.
Vivian Krabbe.
Haley Joe Ayler.
Allison Lane Byer.
Kelly Elizabeth Kern.
Izzy Yates.
Nolan Brian Jurgens.
Dylan Joseph Videvich.
Jordan Jensen.
Austin Royce Percy.
Tate Anthony Hamer.
Colton Michael Hubble.
Nicholas Lammers.
Trent Evan Wagner.
Dakshana Senthilkumar.
Alec Michael Soth.
Sanjana Shankar Mahabal.
Benjamin Humrick.
Morgan Ann Hobley.
Charlie Kapinski.
Zoe Stonebreaker.
Andrew Cook.
Sawyer M. Brooks.
Carter Jonathan Smith.
Jaden Marie Schmidt.
Matthew E. Funderburk.
Kyle A. Kowalczak.
Aiden James O'Donnell.
Jack Bauer Breitbach.
Brendan Michael Sieve.
Jack Thomas Willer.
Xander Michael Marion.
Anthony Joseph Jersey.
Jaden Steffi.
Kyle James Bradford.
Cale Thomas Stark.
Amanda Noel Roeder.
Alexander Spear.
Olivia C. Agalianos.
Braden Fustos.
Kaylee McDonough.
Emily Grace Thompson.
Ollie Grace Flaherty.
Allison Talliot.
Quinn Brooke Eslinger.
Matthew Allen Wade.
Morgan Violet Lytle.
Matthew Nelson.
Ellie Ray Bowman.
Gus Michael Rasmussen.
Alexa Louise Garcia.
Ethan Lane Shepard.
Yaley Marie Betancourt.
Luke Jeffrey Carroll.
John Garrett Wesling.
Lance James Smithhart.
Jacob Patrick Wagner.
Anna M. Boxrud.
Dylan Sammons.
Tiffany Nicole Jackson.
Andre Miller.
Ella Corin Peterson.
Haley Teresa Marzorati.
Alexander Barragan Liborio.
Mitchell T. Brown.
Sedlam Tukamudorov.
Tristan Todd Hewick.
Thomas Allen Loker.
Jacob Dennis Black.
Miriam Ayman A. Kabale.
Marina Gonzalez Lara.
Caden M. Fletcher.
Gabrielle Rahim.
Jeffrey Eugene Wagstaff II.
Jay Bassart Morse.
Miguel Angel Valera.
Anna Jean Spahn.
Bree Christine Severn.
Andy Montalvo Martinez.
John A. Adams.
Kendall Sky Stevenson.
Joseph Johnston.
Nicholas Dean Nyron.
Jared Thomas Free.
Luke Hart.
Jackson Garrett Basil.
Benjamin Richard Hansen.
Nigel Spurslogie.
Zachary Martin Schwager.
Chase Evan Halber.
Samuel D. Hansen.
Alec Douglas DePhillips.
Owen Gruby.
John Philip Pfeiffer.
Ethan W. Bogards.
William Edward Garrison.
Harrison Isaac Dozy.
Jack James Winkler.
Luca Strabats.
Bowden Brian Parent.
Logan Hong.
Noah Walter Love.
Gavin Patrick Hintz.
Emily K. Klein.
Parker Boone.
William Donovan Jorgensen.
Brett Joseph Baxter.
Hayden C. Split.
Jack P. Hintermeister.
Benjamin Lee Snyder.
Rachel Lynn Klein.
Joshua John Kamen.
Benjamin B. Havens.
Owen Daniel Wallace.
Jenna Kathleen Wieskamp.
David O'Clair Anderson.
Anna Marie Schmitz.
Megan Bauer.
Christian Neil Taylor.
James Vega.
William Antilles Rasmussen.
Carter J. Krogman.
Colbin Thompson.
Caleb J. Courier.
Anthony A. Branch.
David Aaron Stifler.
Elizabeth Marie McDowell.
Alexander Alonzo Redden.
Ashlyn Sue Haydenfeld.
Luke James Jones.
Rachel Ashley Safransky.
Gabrielle C. Mowbray.
Samuel R. Jackson.
Jake C. Wilcomb.
Cade Michael Busher.
Lyndon Dane Churchman.
Tyler Jacob Dickerson.
Blake Jerome Jurek.
Caitlin Carlson.
Zach Thomas Beachy.
Jacqueline Carlson.
William Grogan Mason.
Bo Daniels.
Jennifer Bueller.
Jack M. Goddard.
Kia Snyder.
Nitin Jairam Bedi.
Kaylee Rokols.
Ryan Jacob Larson.
Emma M. Flathers.
Rachel Elizabeth Massieri.
Andrew Holtz.
Cale Schmitz.
Miguel Bajorquez.
Louis Michael Kahn.
Emmanuel Elijah Taylor.
Cale Carr.
Anna Emily Bajorek.
Griffin James Boyson.
Ava Feeney.
Dylan Hunter Burr.
Elise N. Carver.
Benjamin William Verploeg.
Javarius Foreman.
Lucas Ryan Pale.
Carmen Pop.
Aiden Timothy DeLance.
Jackson Edward Morton.
Ryan Christians.
Jacob Lenning.
Rachel Mialo.
Jacob Rodney Wilbeck.
Wa Se.
Ian Patrick Loftus.
Emma Louise Dudgeon.
James Albert Fidanzia.
Harley Sue Flynn.
Austin Edward Bowl.
Sophia Marie Ringel.
Jack M. Davis.
Cindy Mugisha Chirabo.
Sam Ackerson.
Wesley Killian.
Maximus Corellis.
Madison Ann Vorm.
Nathan R. Jones.
Bailey Rose Dufault.
Shay Allen Anderson.
John D. Roth.
Alex Patrick Melvin.
Aura Garrett German.
Bo Joseph D. Blackmore.
Aaron Jensen.
Scott Ingold Ciprell.
Michael Wojciechowski.
Ryan M. McMahon.
Kate Kozad Chaldron.
Hayden Joint.
Rhett T. Goebel.
Shane Michael Costin.
Gage Allen Madden.
Ryan Tomaris.
Noah M. Nelson.
Aiden Joseph McClellan.
Sully Herbers.
Marcus Allen Sunland.
Riley W. Ferrari.
Thomas Michael Nitch.
Anna Olivia Philbin.
Emily Marie Huff.
Lauren Hope Mickelson.
Jenna D. Mueller.
Aisha Abibaba Dodd.
Tara Nicole Peterson. Sierra Erickson.
On behalf of the entire university community, I extend my sincerest congratulations to all of our graduates. We wish you the very best and look forward to hearing from you about all of your future accomplishments. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Kurt Jaden, new member of the Iowa Board of Regents and the Laura and Russ Talbot Endowed Acting President and CEO of the Iowa State University Alumni Association, he will welcome you as the newest alumni of Iowa State.
Well, first, I think another round of applause is due for President Winterstein and her outstanding leadership. And to borrow a word from Roger Underwood, don't be afraid, I'll be brief. So greetings, Iowa State's newest alumni, members of class of 2025. I'm Kurt Jaden, a 1985 Ivy College of Business graduate from Iowa State University. And as Wendy said, I serve the university as the Iowa State Alumni Association's acting Laura and Russ Talbot Endowed President and CEO, while Jeff Johnson is on medical leave. Our thoughts and prayers are with Jeff and his family on his journey to return to good health. You may be familiar with the television show Ted Lasso. In one episode, there's a quote, "There is the family you are born with and the family you make along the way." I believe that statement applies to each of you. You are part of the Iowa State family. You are officially Cyclones for Life and proudly carry the title of Iowa State University alumni. Today you move from an on-campus family of more than 31,000 students to a global family of more than 296,000 alumni located around the world. The ISU Alumni Association is committed to keep you well connected to Iowa State alumni and friends, to inspire you through the stories of your alumni colleagues, and to serve you through exciting programs and services. You are an important member of the ISU alumni community, and our goal is to provide you with the alumni connections as we work together to elevate Iowa State and Iowa Staters. To help start your journey, a group of donors have gifted funds for one-year memberships for each of you. This gives you access to all the benefits, services, and opportunities connected to the Iowa State University Alumni Association. I think that deserves a round of applause. Thank you. To access and accept this exclusive opportunity, you simply need to activate your gift membership by May 31st. We'll be sending you an email in the next week with information and a link on how to do this. Once you activate your membership, you gain access to tools that will help you navigate your alumni journey, such as the online alumni directory that connects you with alumni in your community, the Iowa Stater magazine, online discounts, new grad tip sheets and programs, and special member invitations. I hope you will take advantage of these tools to maximize your alumni experience. Now, I'd like to leave you with 3 final thoughts. No matter what you do, where you go, you will always be a member of this prestigious higher education family. The university and all who work here will always be interested in what you do, how you contribute to society, and what you become. Second, make Iowa State visible in your daily life. Wear your school colors, sport a license plate or a license plate holder, display your diploma, place an Alumni Association membership decal on your vehicle. These simple acts will encourage connection with other Iowa State Cyclones wherever you go. And third, stay connected and keep in touch. Come back to campus. Take a road trip with your colleagues. Join a local alumni club. If you have a change of address, please let us know so we can put you in touch with other alumni in your new community. In closing, and with best wishes for your success, health, and happiness, on behalf of the Iowa State University Alumni Association, we look forward to supporting you to help advance your career, enhance your degree, stay connected to your college and your alma mater, and network with your Cyclone family. Congratulations again, class of 2025. You are now part of the Cyclone family for life.
Thank you, Kurt. I want to offer my personal congratulations to all of today's graduates. We are extremely proud of all of you and what you have accomplished. We also want to recognize the care and dedication of all of those individuals who have supported these graduates, the faculty and staff, family members, and many friends. Will our graduates please rise, and our guests please rise as well. Now for the perfect Instagram moment, let's release those streamers. Do you see those streamers under your chairs? Yes! So please remain standing with the singing of the Bells of Iowa State by student vocalist Miss Allie Pauley. I pronounce the Spring 2025 Undergraduate Commencement Ceremony at a close. Thank you, Allie.
Please join me in the singing of the Bells of Iowa State. You can find the music on the back of your program.
For thy throne and for Christ.
Collect the folders. Get me your folders.